Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. Hey, in this video we're going to chat a bit about the Season of the Worthy and just how much grace we should be giving to Bungie at this point in time. You know, there are there's a whole lot of factors at play here. Including the time it takes to develop new content, the assets required to create fresh landscapes, the current global situation, etc. And I'm happy to dive into those factors today and sort of gauge how much grace we should be extending to Bungie right now, considering what we've received in the Season of the Worthy. But before we dive into that, you know exactly what time it is. Quick sponsor shout out in the form of Raid Shadow Legends. If you've never heard of Raid Shadow Legends, well, I'm genuinely impressed. Most of you probably know by now that Raid is a turn-based RPG where you build your teams with champions that you collect to battle players, bosses, and campaign levels. It has a wonderful dark fantasy aesthetic with some amazing character designs. You can play alone, with friends, even in a clan, and you can do it on either mobile devices or on PC if you like. There's literally a ton of things to do in the game. You'll find you have to pick where you want to focus your efforts with each play session. Getting started is a breeze. You'll get some basic tutorials to help you understand the mechanics of the game and get right into progressing the campaign and then dungeons and PvP and other events and activities. The player base is absolutely enormous at this point, literally dwarfing a lot of mainstream game communities. That means there's also a ton of info and resources out there to help you learn and optimize your experience. I know y'all have your opinions about this game, good and bad, but let me hit you with some facts. This game has been downloaded over 25 million times, with more than 1 million players logging in every single day. There's about 1,000 videos posted to YouTube every week, including strategies and guides. The Discord community is 87,000 strong, with over 60 languages represented. The Reddit community has more than 35,000 fans. That's absolutely nuts. I would highly recommend that you get involved in a clan as well. There's active recruiting in the global chat rooms in the app and on Reddit and Discord as well. Clan members have been so valuable to me in helping me understand how to make strong teams and which champions are S tier and must-haves for various activities. Be sure to check which artifacts are in the loot pool for each specific activity. That way you know where to target farm artifacts that really play well with the champions you're using. I enjoy the PvP in this game, but my favorite thing to do is push my team and finely tune my champions for taking on specific dungeon bosses and upping the difficulty every time I clear it. So stop putting it off and give this free game a shot. Check out the links in my description if you're a new player, and you can get 200,000 silver and a free champion named Grinner. Check him out, he's pretty cool. You'll find extra rewards here in your inbox for the next 30 days only, so get to it, my friends. Now let's get back to Destiny. Alright, let's get into the meat of this conversation as we dissect this season and the factors at play here. Let's just put the cards on the table first, from the get-go. The Season of the Worthy has been rough. The global situation didn't affect the development of this season, as that was all pretty well taken care of before the situation hit us. In other words, we got the content we were meant to get. Okay, but Bungie has had a really tough time, providing active support for issues and responding to feedback after the content dropped because of lockdowns and safety concerns. Trials has major issues, and the population there is at an all-time low since this season launched, with around 130,000 players across all platforms this weekend in the playlist as of this morning that I'm recording this commentary. We've been over those issues. We don't really need to rehash them, I don't think, but Trials has felt considerably less polished on arrival than we expected it to be. I think that's pretty well accepted at this point. In addition to that, Grandmaster Nightfalls have been a fun little activity to do on the side, but they brought nothing new to the loot pool, no peacocking options for talented PvEers. The Lie quest for Felwinter's Lie had an undeniably awful first step that motivated no one and culminated in a bugged dead end for gamers that took the time to invest in the quest. Guardian Games was a bounty farm that excited very few gamers and brought no new mechanics to gameplay whatsoever. It's just the season basically underdelivered in just about every way conceivable. Have I had some fun? Absolutely. Have I gotten my hands on loot this season that excites me? Yeah, sure. Astral Horizon is an incredible shoddy. Summoner kicks serious booty. while the CQC shoddy is a lovely addition to both PvE and PvP. But all in all, it's an underwhelming season to say the least. But, you know, how hard can we be on Bungie regarding this season? Let's consider a few factors here. First of all, we have this fall DLC that's allegedly coming our way. And we are pretty much all assuming, given the signs, that this leak that we saw is probably more close to the truth than, you know, and not a hoax. And if that's true, we have to remember that the game leads openly stated that Destiny 2 is getting too big. And that creates a problem when it comes to introducing new content. So let me put that in layman's terms. If we're getting a couple brand new spaces with new assets and a brand new palette, that means something is probably getting removed. And brand new palettes for Europa and potentially the pyramid ships is a process that will require a lot of hands to be involved, since they're creating from scratch instead of using existing palettes, right? If they were creating a new space on Nessus, hey, go to the Nessus palette, use the assets that we have there. If we're making a new space on Earth, hey, we have the assets, we've got the trees are already made, you know, the structures, the way that EDZ buildings look, that's all part of the palette. It's already there. They have tools they can work with, but when they're building things from scratch, it takes a lot more. It takes a lot more work. And that more than likely means that this season is the product of a lot fewer people and less time and capital investment. Development is slow. It takes a long time. Consider, for example, that Halo Reach had Easter eggs nodding to Destiny 1 and showed images of the Traveler hanging over Earth and said things like Destiny is coming. Now, consider that Halo Reach came out in 2010 and Destiny 1 came out in 2014. That means that Destiny was being worked on before Reach came out, right? Before Reach launched, it was being worked on in some shape or form. That means at least 4 years before Destiny launched, it was being developed in some way, right? I say all this to reinforce the fact that development is a slow and long process, especially when you're making things from scratch. So we know that, you know, the majority of the studio, or at least we're assuming, was hands-on with the fall content instead of working on Season of the Worthy. And frankly, I'm ready to have a content drop that is much more beefy than just a seasonal model, basic activity, and a few guns to chase. I'm okay with them focusing their efforts on the fall release, right? Now, that's not to say that we should just excuse the missteps with this season. I think it's clear that Bungie misunderstood what the bulk of the community wanted, right? I'll say that again. I think it's clear that Bungie misunderstood what the bulk of the community wanted and expected out of these activities like Trials and Grandmasters. What we should hold them accountable for is under-delivering in those places this season. But, you know, what I do give them a pass for, what I give them a pass on for sure is the live support of this season. With all the devs being at home, you know, God knows it's so freaking hard right now. Some of you guys are out there with families and jobs right now. You know, it's so freaking hard right now with families and work all colliding day after day after day after day under the same roof. It's freaking hard to work well and to work consistently and to work quickly. It's a challenge. I do give them a pass on the live support for this season for that reason. The lie, initial step on the quest of the lie, I hold them accountable for that. They made a poor choice as to the first step of this quest and how it should be designed. That, we hold them accountable for. That was a bad choice. The bug in the quest and the response time to fix it, that, I'll let slide. Bugs happen. That's nothing new at all. Some things slip through the cracks. It's no big deal. And, you know, they can't fix things like that super fast right now. So that, I extend grace on. All this to say, I see a whole lot of hate right now for the studio, and I think plenty of that is warranted, but I also think that we need to be mindful of the factors at play. I might recommend taking some time to explore some of the games and see what else is out there to occupy some of your time right now, and you know, occupy some of your love during this season if you need to take a little breather. I myself took a lot of time these past 2 weeks to play a single-player game called Control by Remedy that came out last year, and it's absolutely incredible. You know, I was mega hooked all the way to the end. It's one of those games that, you know, I would be actively thinking about while I wasn't playing it, right? You know, in the shower, yeah, I'm thinking about using psychic abilities to hurl concrete blocks at interdimensional body snatchers. And you know, laying in bed, you know, I'm thinking about using a shape-shifting gun to snipe floaty boys, then breaking the laws of physics and dashing straight up into a mob of goons with a psychic shotgun. I mean, dude, this game is sick. I might even highlight it in a video soon, I don't know, but we'll see. Either way, that's where we're at right now with Destiny. I'm so anxious to see what they've got cooking for the fall. In the meantime, we have to keep giving our feedback and stay sane. I still love the game. I will continue playing it, but I'm also enjoying some other gaming right now as well. So thanks for watching, everybody. I love you guys so much. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.